Welcome back to the channel. In this evening's video, I was doing some extensive research earlier today. Been talking with people back and forth. I received some documents last night, and I just wanted to share my thoughts and what I think is getting ready to happen in a more short to midterm time frame. So the article that I pulled up, Morgan Stanley expects T-Mobile to start smaller with share buybacks from investing.com. And I will leave this article in the description down below. So the reason that I pulled up this article in Morgan Stanley is because I received a document last night from the debt research of Morgan Stanley. And Morgan Stanley has now also what they call bit the bullet, and they're recommending T-Mobile as a buy, and they are recommending Verizon as a sell. And more third-party analysts and firms are starting to do the same. They're telling everyone to back off of Verizon and to buy T-Mobile in terms of your investments and your stocks. Now, again, as I've said in many other videos, I'm no stock expert. I'm no financial expert. So don't take anything I say and go and purchase and do anything. I'm just telling you what I see, and then I'm putting it into this video as an opinion on what I think is going to happen. So I personally think, right? I'm looking at two documents, and if you aren't realizing this yet, it's gonna come, because we've been seeing it quarter after quarter. This Q3 is going to close in a few days, and then we get the third quarter numbers towards the end of October. AT&T goes on the 20th. Verizon goes on the 21st. We haven't seen any dates from T-Mobile yet, but it's likely going to be similar to what we saw in Q2. You know, Verizon's going to take an accelerated loss. AT&T is going to grow. T-Mobile is going to grow. So here's what I think is going to happen over the next 12 to 18 months. I think T-Mobile is going to turn into a powerhouse over the next 12 to 18 months. And they're going to turn into such a powerhouse that it's going to be hard for AT&T and Verizon to keep the pricing models where they're currently at and where they plan on taking them. So I'm hearing some stuff that AT&T has planned for the first quarter 2023. We all know Verizon is priced. Their model on the premium pricing is priced the highest, and that's where they're shifting everybody to go towards, because they're starting to budge, but the welcome plan is really excluded from any promotions. They're starting to budge, but I'm not confident that Verizon is going to keep that around. They keep dabbling. 2 weeks they go, then they take it off. So they're not bringing competitive pressure the entire quarter. They kind of go in and then they back off. The reason I say the 12 to 18 month time frame is because T-Mobile is getting ready to gain that scale, and an even bigger scale where they were never able to compete, where people have been seeing their national advertising, people have been wanting T-Mobile, and now T-Mobile is moving in, right? People have been debating over the last few years, has T-Mobile really caught up in coverage? Are they on par? T-Mobile says so. Some third parties are putting it out there that T-Mobile may have caught up. But, right, there was still the entire state of Nebraska just about that had no native coverage. So was T-Mobile ever really on par? They have somewhat of an enticing roaming package in that state, so it was really never super noticeable. But you still weren't on a native connection from T-Mobile in the state of Nebraska, outside of other than a few cities in that state. That's now changing. Keeping track of that, they are expanding outwards on I-80, and they will cover that from east to west, at least the interstate. And then I'm hearing by 2024, they want to have 70% of the population covered natively. So now they're moving into territory natively that they've never competed in. People already know about T-Mobile before they even move into these towns due to the national advertising. Some have likely wanted to try T-Mobile in the past but couldn't because T-Mobile just wasn't available. Now that they're moving in and T-Mobile has replicated this model before. So don't think this is just some random things that I'm throwing out. They're replicating this in the state of Montana. They just recently announced that they cover 90% of the pops. The port ratios are insane against Verizon and AT&T. Insane, off the charts. So as they reach a certain percentage of pops in other states that they never natively covered the entire state, they're anticipating the same thing to happen in terms of the port-ins. So they are continuing to grow at a pace and scale that they did not account for at the analyst day, from the guidance that they gave. So they said 20%, they would grow the rural footprint to 20%. They're already at 15 now. So they said they grew that footprint by 2% just off of national advertising. So they have another 5% to go by 2025. They're going to crush that. I can tell you guys that with confidence. I mean, beyond confidence. They're going to crush that. The enterprise goal, they're going to crush that too. I mean, you're seeing it now. There's articles almost every day. T-Mobile partners with so-and-so. They partner with so-and-so. And there's other partnerships that they're gaining in enterprise that they're not even making publicly known. Like they got the AutoZone partnership. They got Circle K. I would assume that with these airlines that they're signing up with in terms of the in-flight Wi-Fi, like United, I would assume we hear that they can get some of those airlines to move to T-Mobile, the entire account to T-Mobile as well. But more on that in the future. So they're working the same playbook, the same model that they've had success with. They still have somewhat of the same executive team intact, and they're attacking. And they're using the same model that John Legere started when he became the CEO. And now, with this new network, this newfound capacity, this new scale, they're attacking it more confidently. We are the best. We are the leader in 5G. You're seeing it in the marketing messages all the time. And it's so effective that if you really look at it, T-Mobile's not spending the most amount on marketing. But it's so effective that when they have that 15-second ad, when they have that 30-second ad, you see the colors. They have a specific music tone. They catch your attention every time. So like I said, the debt research of Morgan Stanley, buy T-Mobile, sell Verizon. Again, that's their opinion. I'm not telling you to make any moves with your money. But I truly believe this. Verizon and AT&T will have to drop pricing in some way, shape, or form. They will have to change their go-to market to stop the bleeding and de-accelerate T-Mobile's growth. Their growth is barely based on a 2-year model. Right? They just in April had the 2-year anniversary of the merger. The synergies are kicking in. The backhaul is scaling. The network is growing. It's not perfect. Don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting here and I'm not saying it's perfect. It's 100% no. But their business model, the marketing, and the network, it's all working as a puzzle. And they're growing. It's like Verizon, right? I still say they're going to have the best network. They still have the biggest network, but they are not growing. They're regressing. They're going the opposite direction, right? Like Visible by Verizon, Total by Verizon. I mean, I just don't think that brand, having that many brands is going to work. It's like they're swapping back and forth. If a Visible customer goes to Total by Verizon, back and forth, there's no net gain. It's like they're just swapping back and forth. And then they still got Straight Talk, Track Phone. They still have Verizon prepaid. I mean, it's just too many brands. I think they made some bad decisions. And you know, it's not bad to say. Everyone makes bad moves in business. And regardless of the Verizon network, I think that management team that's in place, they made some bad decisions, just like AT&T made a bad decision by going into media. I truly believe Verizon made a bad choice by buying TracFone. They didn't need it, and they didn't need all those brands. And if they are to move forward, which they're going to have to because they now own it, like I said in the previous video, I think they need to move all the brands under TracFone and not have all these sub-brands and now they're rebranding and now they're going to have all these plans. And I just think it's a mess. if you ask me. So, but that's what I think is going to happen with T-Mobile over the next 12 to 18 months. If some of you guys some of you that I speak with, you've been looking at the numbers closely, and you can just see it. It's going to happen, right? They're still growing the network. The 5G footprint is expanding. The fixed wireless access is bringing in revenue. Them not having to pay a dividend is just huge for them. The free cash flow is going to keep growing. The EBITDA is set to grow. Verizon still claims a $48 billion EBITDA, which is per the numbers they do get, but it's regressing. T-Mobile's is growing. So you have to look at it for more of a midterm to long term. And you can see where I say that T-Mobile is going to become a powerhouse. Now, you did see, for those of you who made it to the end of the video, not one time did I say T-Mobile is going to have the best network. For those of you who stuck around to the end of the network, I just said that they're going to become a powerhouse of a company, right? And I speak overall, their business practices, they've made the right moves. Their marketing is clicking. The pricing is very reasonable. And they come in and out every quarter. They give you a 20% insider discount. They allow you to drop that pricing. They are the best positioned if we do go into a full-blown recession and to continue growing. But like I said, for those of you who stuck around, I did not once say that they're going to end up with the best network. So keep that in mind as you finish out the video. So make sure you guys like, share, subscribe to the channel. Follow my social media outlets for more updates and interactions. This is Tyrone with Tech Life. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.